So today I've invited Joe back into the kitchen with me because we're going to be making Belizean Tableta.
You're all watching the Bear Pantry Show.
These are the ingredients that we're going to need. 2 1/3 cups of brown sugar, and you can use white sugar too, but I'm using brown. We're going to use only half a can of the sweetened condensed milk. Any brand will do. We're only going to do 1 coconut because I don't want to be in the kitchen all day. And you're supposed to have fresh ginger that you're going to grate, but we don't have any fresh ginger. You know how we work it here at the Bear Pantry Show. We kind of use what we have. So let's bring Joe back in so he can teach us what we need to know about opening the coconut, all right? So this is the first thing you need to know. We don't want the outside shell of the coconut to look brown, okay, because it's going to be too old. And we don't want that green one either because that's called a young coconut and the flesh inside is too soft and you can't grate it. So you want this, like a half green coconut, and this is the way the shell's going to look. Joe got this at our local supermarket. In our town, it's called Food for Less. So he got it at our local supermarket. And so Joe's going to show us the different ways that you can attempt to open the coconut, okay? Okay, so my favorite show on TV to watch is the Jeff Probst show, right? He's the one that does Survivor, but he also has his own talk show. I just absolutely love that show. And he was telling a story the other day because he does the show Survivor, and he said on one of the seasons, he met this contestant that was really good with the machete and coconuts and stuff. And I think Joe would actually make a good candidate for Survivor, except when it comes to the conniving part, when they start backstabbing each other. He would not be good at that at all, but the survival stuff, he'd be awesome. But anyways, Jeff Probst told the story, take it Joe, that the guy had the coconut like that, and he had a machete. Let me move. And the guy was doing that, and he did like 3 fell swoops, and he cracked open the coconut. So Jeff Probst said he tried to do the same thing, and he chipped it, and he, I guess he was so afraid to do it that he didn't get it right, and he chopped his hand right there, and there was blood pouring, and oh Lord, all this gory story. So I tell you that story, guys, because I'm afraid to deal with the machete. And the last time Joe did the coconut milk and the coconut oil, he showed us how to open it with an axe or something, or a machete. So today I've asked him to use our trusted hammer. And I'm going to step out of the scene because he's going to show us how we can also open the coconut with a hammer. But keep in mind that once we open the coconut with the hammer, we're going to lose all the water.
No, I'll take the water out right now.
Oh, you're going to take it out? Oh, see, Joe is smart. So let me get something for him to pour that coconut water in. You have something already? Oh, he was ahead of the game today. So I hope Joshua's seeing this. Okay, stop for a second, Joe. Get this, see, the coconut has these eyes, I call it like a little face, and so he's using that knife just to poke an opening into those eyes. And then he's gonna pour the coconut water out. So here's our awesome coconut water. And of course, you can just drink this. It has so much healthy for you, electrolytes and so on and so on. But in the future, in the very near future, not today though, because I'm gonna get more coconut and do it. We're gonna make a candy that's made in Belize that's called Stretch My Guts. And it actually uses this coconut water to make the candy. So we'll do that right in the near future. So that's our beautiful coconut water, and then now Joe is gonna move on to the hammer to bust open this coconut for us. I wanna show you guys how much water we got. That's a really tall tumbler. I remember in Belize we used to call drinking glasses tumblers. I forget some of the words sometimes, but we got so much, and Joe, don't drink it, it's mine, back up. All right, so Joe's gonna go ahead and bust this coconut open for us. Joe, put my coconut water down. I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I'll share some with you later. Anyways, go ahead, bust it. I'm behind the camera right now because I don't want to get hurt. All right, so this is all he's gonna do. Oh yeah, that's much safer and much easier for Barbara to do. So now he's going to get it out. Another? You got to hit it again? So he's going to use that little knife that he has, and he's just going to get the coconut out of the shell. And after we get it all out of the shell, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next to get it grated. So of course, I'm not going to be grating this coconut, okay? So Joe is like a surgeon back there, precision, taking them out of the shell. And we're going to use the NutriBullet. We're going to cut the pieces in here, and we're going to go ahead and Joe's going to wash it first. We're going to put the pieces in here and we're going to grind it, all right? Or blend it. So I want to show you guys that the coconut is not old and hard and dry. It's really kind of moist, supple. That's the kind that we want for the tableta or coconut candy, okay? And I know some of you may be thinking, well, I can get coconut flakes from the pack like I did when I did the trifle. But you really don't want to do that because those are already dried out and they already have sugar added on it and just some other stuff. You kind of want to do this from scratch with the coconut. So I just want to show you. Let me come down here in this bowl. See, it looks wet already, and Joe is not blending it with any water like he did when he was making the coconut milk. It's just, he's just putting it in a NutriBullet just as is and putting it on the base and grinding it. Easiest way to grate the coconut to make this candy, all right? So now that the coconut is all grated, let's move over to the stove to show you the next step to making the tableta. So first of all, we're starting with a huge pot, and I put all the brown sugar in the pot already. I have the heat on low, and I'm just going to be moving this around. I don't want it to burn, but I want the sugar to melt, all right? So let's give this a few minutes and just stay here and stand guard. So this took like 6 minutes, but I had to put like a couple drops of water in here to let it go a little bit faster, okay? So the brown sugar is melted. You don't want it to burn, guys. That's the main thing that you're trying to do. Let's get the coconut flakes in. And I'm sorry if Willow's like hollering today, but I don't know what's going on with the dogs. They're really agitated today. So we're going to put that and half a can of this condensed milk and our ginger. So, and remember, it's always good to use the grated ginger, but we don't have that. Let me open the bigger hole. Put a little bit of ginger in. And the ginger is optional too, okay? So, but we want to put that in. And remember, when it comes to making the sweets, you guys know that I don't use nutmeg in anything because I'm allergic. So, we're just going to stir this here on low. Just like, kind of like when we were doing fudge. Gonna stir this on low. And in the meanwhile, I'm gonna have Joe prepare like a baking sheet for me. A lot of Belizean people will say grease the baking sheet so you could pour this on it. But one of Mom's good friends, Miss Cherry, I want to give Miss Cherry a shout out just in case she watches my show. I know she was so happy to get my book. And she says the trick is not to grease that baking sheet, to actually just run some water, like under the faucet, some warm water over the baking sheet. And then you put the candy on it to let it sit. But this is going to be far from done. I'm going to go for like 10 minutes stirring this, starting now. And then I'm going to show you again at 10 minutes what it looks like, all right? Okay, so this is right about at the 10-minute mark. And Joe's been helping me stir while I get other stuff done, do the cleanup and so on. And this is actually the Easter weekend that we're taking to make this tableta. It's smelling good. I would even go so far as to say it smells gorgeous. Anyways, at this point, at the 10-minute mark with this recipe that we have right here, this could also be the second version of coconut crust. You guys know that I have coconut crust at the side already, and when I did it the first time, I did the recipe that I have in my book, where we just kind of use the filling for the tart, for the coconut tarts, and we put it inside the crust and make it like an empanada. So I have some leftover crust, because this is Easter weekend, like I said, and we've been making some pastries. I made some jam roll yesterday, and I saved this little piece just so I can get a couple of crusts for Joe. So I might have him steal some from the pot for me right now before we kind of cook it more for tableta. And so I just want you guys to know that recipes are, you know, sometimes very unique. Sometimes the recipes are similar to other cultures. But when it comes to recipes, you make them your own. You really and truly make them your own. Because I know some other people that make this part for coconut crust and they don't put the condensed milk in it. They delete that part completely. And that's not wrong either. Every region of Belize makes recipes a little bit different too. And so, you know, this is just how we make it. When I made the crust the first time, I used the filling from the coconut tart. And if I'm going to make crust today, if I make a couple, if I end up doing a couple, I'm actually going to use this. And like I said, some other people omit the condensed milk. Okay, so I just ran some water over the baking sheet like Mom said to do. And Joe is just going to scraping out the tableta. And he's going to spread it with that pot spoon. Okay, so my camera died, my battery, not the camera. I would say the camera died, but it's the battery. My battery died just now. We're so distracted trying to do all this stuff today. But anyways, Joe just kind of took the pot spoon and kind of patted it out for a little bit there. And we don't want it to take too long to cool. It's only been like a minute or so. And he's going to go ahead and score it, just like we did with the fudge, so we could get the pieces. I think he could have even waited a little bit longer before he scored it. That's messy.
Too dry.
Yeah, he wants to get a little bit more cool. So I would say wait, 2 to 3 minutes before you score it. So he's going to wait because he's also going to score it that way. So, and then we're going to have our tableta. So here's our finished product. I took out a couple pieces. Take a look, see? Awesome tableta. Looks good and tastes good. So I had to beat Joe off of the tableta. He took like 3 for himself, but look how much I got. I got quite a bit. I'll tell you guys at the end, okay? I'll put up a graphic or something to tell you how many pieces I got. Who wants to buy tableta? Joe says 1 shilling a piece. I say $1. Just because we had to open that coconut. All right, so I want to say a special thank you to Joe for coming in the kitchen again and help me out with tableta. But now I don't need him no more because I know how to bust open that coconut by myself with a hammer. I don't have to use a machete or a machete and cut my wrist and have blood going everywhere. Anyways, the tableta came out so good, so good. I mean, it tastes, oh, it just reminded me of Belize right away. You guys are going to be able to make this because it's simple. It's coconut flakes with some ginger, some condensed milk, and some brown sugar. Of course, you can always do it with white sugar, but I think it'll come out a little bit lighter in color. I like it this way. Let me give you guys advance warning, okay? Tableta is something that you don't want to mess with. You could eat that and try to leave and go to the store or something, and you might have to run back home for the bathroom. I don't know what's in it that really, something is in there. I don't know if the coconut is a lot of fiber or something, but it really sends you to the bathroom right away. I mean, you're not in any pain or anything. It's totally cleanse. You know, it's a cleanse. But I'm giving you advance warning, okay? Because sometimes Belizeans don't warn other cultures that when you eat this, you kind of have to stay home and see how it goes with you first. And then you can know if you're the kind of person that can leave the house after you eat this, or you may have to stay home. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Joe, so much for coming on the show with me today. Thank you for liking, for picking up the book, for sharing the show with your friends and family, and for everything that you do to be a support to me. Until I see you again, take care.
Bye-bye.
We're not set yet. We're not set yet. We have to set some more. It's still hot. Joe, just to eat out the thing, man.
I thought I caught it a piece.
Huh?
I thought I caught it a piece.